All right. At the last session, we're going to talk about our product planning process and our roadmap for the rezStream cloud and all of our kind of surrounding products as well. I'm James Glinsek, VP of Product Development. So I run a team of 6 developers, including myself. And I've been here for 17 years. And I've got a guy on my team who's been here for 21 years. So we got some experience doing some things. Looking back over 2025 a little bit and then talking about what we've been doing. You've seen some of it. We introduced a new reporting platform, which gives us a little bit more flexibility. And as you know, Jeff showed earlier, subscriptions and more capabilities there. We expanded and kind of finalized our channels integration. All of these things are always going to be ongoing, right? Especially channels, because they're constantly evolving. The OTAs are changing things. Google is constantly changing things. So we'll be constantly evolving those things, but we spent a lot of time kind of stabilizing and making sure those things are really solid and customer friendly and ready to go. Not only that, but also so that our support team can support you guys with those tools internally, right? Credit cards and terminals is another aspect of that. We now have EMV and dip and tap and all the different things you can do with a credit card using both of our credit card partners, so Shift4 and Nexio. From a product perspective, again, I noted Google is kind of constantly changing. There was actually some federal laws that came out about fees and making sure that you're exposing those fees as early as possible so that people know what they're getting feed, so to speak. So we made some changes to our booking engine. We also did some things with fees internally, which Jeff noted earlier. You can now exempt those just like you can a tax. So anybody that is using fees, that was kind of a pain point. Sometimes you want to remove those fees for whatever reasons. Now you can do that. Payments, surcharges, and discounts. So you can, as people were asking about earlier as well, applying a surcharge for credit card payments typically is what you're going to do. You can use that in the reverse way too. So if you want to offer a cash discount, so to speak, raise your rates, but give them a discount if they pay with cash, essentially, which is really what the credit card companies want you to do. They don't really want you charging that surcharge, but it's getting more and more common. So either way is acceptable these days in most cases, with the exception of debit cards, right? We spent some time reworking some aspects of the system as well. With refunds was kind of a pain point, especially with credit cards. There were some kind of problems going around there. And I don't know if anybody in here does the rebooking stuff, but for folks that do a lot of summer bookings, they would rebook every single year. So as they check out, they rebook. So we did some improvements around that. This was a special year, 53 weeks in year 2026. So that kind of messes up everybody's schedules. So we worked out ways to make that work for however you work. And so those are some of the highlights from 2025. In addition to all of that, we've kind of been, I noted here, re-platforming, so to speak. So you guys all talk about kind of remodeling and upgrading, right? So we got to do that as well. We've been around for 13 years, I think, in the cloud now, about. So some aspects of our system are 13 years old. Some of those things are things we'd like to move away from, and they're slowing us down from a development perspective. And that keeps us from releasing features and getting things done as quickly as we want to. So we are in the process of, and have been for about a year or two now, and we'll continue to do so this year, migrating to newer underlying technology. We're doing that seamlessly. Like, you guys aren't noticing it. We're not taking the system down. We're essentially rebuilding kind of a new set of train tracks while we're kind of rolling down the train tracks, so to speak, right? So that will continue. We hope that improves our velocity from the development team perspective, but also increases performance of the application in general. There's some pain points we know about, like with rates. Sometimes editing rates can be slow. So things like that are going to improve with these new kind of platforming approaches. The other big thing we worked on was an integration ecosystem, right? Our API. So we've exposed a public API. We're starting to get people integrating with us as opposed to us doing all of that work, which is also kind of slowing us down from a building a PMS perspective, right? We want to focus on making a great PMS for you guys and booking engine and all those things. So by exposing an API, let other companies do the work and integrate with us. Take Up is one of those that's working on it. Hopefully they're going to be good soon, right? And we've got a few other partners, Price Labs. We're working with some other companies as well, Price Labs and Price Point. So what are we working on right now? Our big plan for 2026 is a brand new booking engine. So we're starting that process with what we call a guest portal, a self-service portal for guests, right? So they might make a booking with you. We have payment links today, which lets them make a payment on their own. So a guest portal is really kind of an extension of that. You could send a link that you can go manage your reservation here. And you'll be able to make payments in there. You'll be able to maybe do self-check-in. We want to expose the concept of electronic forms and documents so people can sign off on those things right from within our own guest portal. You can do some of that stuff with Akia today. We kind of intend to kind of piggyback on that and build some stuff right into our platform natively. The guest portal will be sort of our first step of a new booking engine too. We want that to be kind of a common experience between those two things. So you make your booking and it doesn't feel like you're going to a whole different place when you go to the guest portal, right? It feels kind of the same, especially from a property branding perspective. So we're starting with the guest portal. That gives us some new features and functionality sooner. And then we'll keep working on the booking engine over the course of the year to kind of expose that and give everybody a chance to kind of migrate towards that. Another thing happening now is batch emailing. This is particularly on the reservation side right now, but we hope to do more of this as well on people side. Kind of the concept of being able to select a group of reservations and email them all something. Invoice, could be communication of some kind. So maybe you're collecting deposits on a given cycle or schedule. User-friendly rate configuration. This is one we've heard lots of times, right? Rates take a long time to set up. They're kind of complicated. There's a lot of repetition. So we are looking at just kind of simplifying that process. It's kind of the concept of derived rates, right? So you set up a rate once and then each rate kind of is some sort of derivation of that rate, maybe a percentage, maybe a flat dollar amount. And that happens kind of at a top level rate level, but also at a seasonal level, right? So we have some really good ideas about how to approach that and make that process simpler. So you can expect to see some changes on that front happening in the next couple of quarters. And then, of course, integrations will keep engaging with these partners that are coming in, mostly via the API, trying to connect them to what we have, but also beefing up that API. Some things we'd like to get done as far as like the Akia is concerned, that they want to write back to us or update things. So when you collect that email address from them, that would feed back into our system and keep things in sync. So we're going to be working towards that, but currently we have, I think, 4 total revenue and rate management partners kind of connecting with our API. We've had a loyalty program connect called Journey. We've got a door locks and automation company called Jervis Systems connecting, and I think they work with Akia. Is that right, Liz? So, and they're kind of coming in. So we're getting an email usually once or twice a week from different companies that are kind of interested in engaging and building into our system. So that's starting to gather some steam and we'll hopefully have some more opportunities for good integration points. So for the rest of the year, as I noted, I don't go into a ton of detail here. These are general big ideas. Obviously, things are evolving and changing constantly. So we're not planning 5 years into the future at this point. We have some ideas about that, right? But the industry changes a lot. New things are happening. AI is changing the landscape quite a bit, right? So trying to focus on what we know now and what's going to be valuable for you guys in the near future. So obviously, like I said, the booking engine and the guest portal is kind of that first step. From a booking engine perspective, we really want to focus on a mobile experience, right? Make that work. We know that I think in our booking engine, we're seeing maybe somewhere between 40 and 60% are coming in on the mobile side. I know it's maybe even higher than that in some other platforms. SMS texting and guest messaging. So while we're not trying to replace Akia, and Akia is going to be doing lots of things that we're not going to be doing, we do understand that that's kind of a fundamental thing that you, from a PMS perspective, communicating with people, at least being able to send notifications and things should be something you should be able to do right within our app. So that's a thing we want to get done this year. Hourly bookings or more flexible kind of scheduled based bookings is something we hear from not everybody, but lots of folks, right? So lots of people have different things they want to rent or schedule, like spas, massage therapy kind of things. In the Midwest area, there's lots of boats and bikes or all kinds of different things, right? So opportunity there to kind of help some people do a lot of things in one platform versus needing extra systems to do those things. Other considerations, QuickBooks has been kind of a popular one. We do have the accounting stuff now, and so that hopefully simplifies things, and we do want to kind of integrate that, but that's something we want to look at, maybe completing that loop and making that QuickBooks integration happen. Zapier, I don't know if anybody's heard of Zapier, but it's kind of a plug and play integration system. So now that we do have our public API, we can plug that in and make rezStream one of the possible endpoints in there. And that's a kind of a system where you can go in and say, well, I want rezStream to connect to Gmail, for example, but they have all kinds of different connection points. So if we don't have an integration and you really want to do something custom, that gives you a way to do that without custom development or effort from anybody. And of course, we'll keep engaging with more API partners as they come. POS is another thing we've heard a lot about. So just kind of tracking inventory for those folks that do have a lot of point of sale activity. And restaurants are another kind of big deal. I don't know that will be a full-on point of sale restaurant system, but we want to support sort of those places that have a restaurant on site, but are maybe not a full-blown open to the public restaurant, but maybe just open to their guests. Connecting those dots would kind of solve a lot of problems for a lot of customers. So those are kind of the big things we're thinking about. Obviously, we've got lots of always maintaining, fixing, migrating, and upgrading things. So all of that will be happening simultaneously. Like you guys, there's mixed feelings about AI, right? So we want to be careful with it. To Steve's point, we don't want to just expose everybody's data to AI and open to Pandora's box potentially, right? So we want to be careful about it, careful about who we're partnering with and who we're doing that with. Focus on real useful features that impact you guys, right? So I'm curious to hear what those things are. And we're hearing a little bit as we've been talking today and yesterday, but please feel free to send us your input on things you think would be useful and how AI could impact the property management system or the booking. We're already obviously using it internally and taking advantage of it for different reasons, improving efficiency and working on some things with development, actively, exploring customer facing capabilities. So there's a lot happening with it. We're learning about it as you are and trying to be thoughtful about it and be careful about it and make sure we use it in the right way. So where we're thinking about it right now is probably from a reporting perspective, interpreting reports, interpreting that data, giving you insights into that data. We have a lot of reports, but a lot of people are confused about what reports to run, how to use them, how can I extract kind of useful information about that. So that's one way we're kind of thinking about sort of applying it, giving you ways within the app to apply AI to the data in your system so you can make big judgments about that. But we haven't made any kind of decisions or plans for that yet. We're just kind of exploring it and evolving over time here. So obviously it's out there and we're paying attention to it. So like I said, if you have ideas, we are open to hear them. We built the software based upon feedback from people just like you, right? So all of the features you see in here is typically coming from some reason, some example, some use case, some customer that said, hey, I need to do this and do it that way. And obviously, we try to think about it in a more generic way and how that can help everybody. But your ideas are really what drive our software, right? So we're always open to hear the ideas. Feel free to chat with us, or we've got a chat in the app. You can always drop us an email or give us a phone call. We're always willing to listen. Steve.
I don't think you do a very good job with the demo. And I think if you could make it more important somehow when it's a repeat customer.
Yes.
As opposed to a dot. What I find happens with a little different name change.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's the same customer, but they've been here a lot, but they're not really recognized as that repeat customer. Maybe the white call, they put.
Gotcha. Yeah.
If we could do something that really identifies it, you also have the value of a future, value of a customer.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting report.
Yep.
And I think if that value was pulled out when that new booking came in, and it was to drop into someplace, hey, this guy is a $35,000 future customer. You know what? Everybody might be kind of like, oh,
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Excellent suggestion. Yep.
I'm still waiting for my recurring task.
Recurring tasks.
Fire extinguisher.
Yep. Gotcha. Absolutely. Okay. So can you talk a little bit more about that? What do you mean? What specifically? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Build our own dynamic pricing. So let me repeat them real quick. So dynamic pricing, build our own dynamic pricing. We have a tasks widget on our dashboard, and Roger suggested we have recurring tasks. And Steve noted that we should have better guests, essentially, right? And understand the value of those repeat guests.
Even if you rate them already, take that rating you have in that file.
Gotcha. Does that build into like a loyalty sort of concept?
No, it's just when they come back, it could be built in.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The guest lifetime. Gotcha. Yep. Okay. Yes. Yeah. It does make an attempt to do that based upon the data that's in there, the address, I think, and maybe an email is, it kind of keys on certain things. But again, if they put a different email address in, it would be like, I don't know. But you can merge people. So that is possible. Yep. Yep. Right.
I want to go more than that, or I want to beat it.
Sure.
So if you have that data.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Alex.
Yeah, in the chat, Chris is asking, we've heard there are updates coming to have packages set up, maybe display. You talk about that as well.
Packages?
Yeah, we've heard there are updates coming out, packages set up. Add-on.
Oh, like seasonality of packages. Yep. Yeah. So the question was, or the suggestion was, better flexibility within packages, more seasonality built into the packages available during certain time frames. The other thing we've heard about packages is like kind of all-inclusive packages, includes a room, it includes all the things, versus kind of what we have now is kind of an add-on package. So packages are always something we think we could improve on. I don't know if we have that on our roadmap at the moment, but that's an important one for sure.
I need to go back to the dynamic pricing.
Okay.
Allow access to the system and start monitoring rates so that we can adjust the rate in the future. What are you sharing? What are we allowing?
So that's a good point. So the question was, what are you allowing a company like TakeUp or any of our integration partners, right? What data do you allow them to access in order to do those things? When you connect with a third party like that through our API, it's you granting that access. So when you do that, you'll be presented with a screen that says, this is the information you're about to share with this partner. Are you sure you want to do that? In the case of rates, and we try to give them the least amount of information they need to do their job. So from a dynamic pricing perspective, we're literally giving them access to your rates and then the ability to update your rates. No, correct. Now, they may ask for customer information, right? So if they do, that would be presented in that dialogue, right? So you would have an option to say, wait a second, why are you asking for all of my customers when you're just doing rate stuff? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't have the option to choose to opt out, but opt out of individual bits of information. Like if TakeUp says, I need all that information to do my job, you have the choice to proceed or to stop. and say, no, I don't want to give you all that. Yeah.
I don't think that option. We have the option to say no.
Yes. Right. Yes. If you,
Having our PMS system have that capability, so we don't have an outside party.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, and that's a fair concern. Absolutely. I think I have to check on take up specifically and the other kind of rate management partners, but I don't believe we give them access to guest data. It literally is just the occupancy. They need to know your occupancy, but not the names of people are in the rooms, just how many rooms are booked, that kind of a thing. And then your rate information. Yep. Okay. Cool. Any other questions?
So somebody mentioned a mobile app.
Oh, a mobile app. Yeah. I don't think we have plans for a mobile app, mostly because it feels like there's a lot of friction there. People don't necessarily know who rezStream is. So downloading a mobile app for rezStream when you're looking at any of your individual properties feels maybe a little bit awkward. So it's a little bit hard to resolve that sometimes, not to mention you have to install an app, right, to do things. So our approach has generally been with the PMS and with our booking engine is let's just make it mobile friendly on the web and make it a link. So it's as simple as clicking a link. You can click it from a text message or from an email. All that information is available. It feels like a mobile app. There may be some options coming, and maybe you can almost turn that into a mobile app on your phone if that's important to you.
That's what I was gonna say. Right now, you have there in rezStream, when you're on the page on your phone, say make this an app. Or put this on my link, or put this on my. Say and then have to-
Yeah.
On the web page.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it basically just your browser, just without the browser tab.
Yeah.
You don't have a search bar.
It feels like you're in an app, but it's really just a browser that looks like an app, if you can think about it that way. All right.
Yeah. Gary, probably some good suggested feedback. Is there a way to identify credit file? So almost like credit.
Yeah. So the question was, is there a way to identify guests that have credit on file? I don't think there is right now, but that is a good suggestion and feedback that we will take back.
Maybe talk about the workaround of.
Yes. Yeah. 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 So the workaround for that is typically you, rather than leave the credit on file, you kind of sell a gift certificate in place of that. So that way the gift certificate's trackable and usable in the future by that person that has that credit essentially. Yeah. All right. Oh, okay.
I was just wondering, we'd like to see an AI plugin for the website that lets us get you have room for 4 people. Zapier is handling this right now.
Oh, okay. So the suggestion was essentially an AI sort of chat widget that lives on your website, but can answer questions about reservations that are in the system. Okay. So it's maybe almost a more website sort of request, yeah, versus a software request. Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Thank y'all.